This is Master Hughes. I'm going to tell all you guys that are shooting Bigfoot expeditions and hunts in the national parks and forest lands and wilderness areas, or maybe shooting a camp out, you're all committing crimes now. See, at one time you couldn't shoot any film that was commercial. That means if you put it on YouTube and get 1 penny off it, it becomes a commercial film. You couldn't shoot it without paying for fees and getting permits to do it. Well, a bunch of YouTubers got $1,000 fines, and this ended up in court in Price versus Barr, I believe was the case was. And the judge ruled it was unconstitutional to force people to get a permit to film in the national forest or to pay to do it. But the good old feds, they've got that case overturned. They went to appellate court and they got it overturned. And now again, you guys are committing crimes if you film in the national forest, wilderness areas, or such, or BLM land, and you don't get a permit. If you're going to put it on YouTube and make 1 penny off it, you got to get a permit. If you're going to sell it anywhere, you got to get a permit. So well, here we are. We're back to you may pay a $300 upfront fee, $150 a day to film. You have to apply for a permit. You may not get that permit. They may not allow you to film the way you want to film or where you want to film. So many words that make it almost impossible to get permits for a lot of people. Can't afford them or meet the requirements. You got to have insurance too. People don't understand this. There's really no reason not to allow small groups to film. They were walking around for camera in the national forest. They don't want you filming in the national forest. Here's the truth. They don't want you filming in the national forest, and they're using this as a backwards way to attack free speech. How could you say that? Well, I read some of the legal documents is how I know what's going on. You say, if you can keep anybody from filming and making commentaries in the national forest, it's just a short period of time before all of a sudden the courts will allow the extension and you can't film, let's say, at the Capitol building, or you can't film in front of the federal building. So it's just another way to prevent your free speech rights. They make it look like, well, he has the option of paying all these fees and getting a permit, and then it cuts most people out. They can't get it, and they know they can't get it. They can't afford it. And then on top of that, they may not get the permit on. Still, it's an attack on free speech rights. All right? There's no way 1 or 2 guys walking around in the national forest, million acres, with a camera shooting a camp out is harming anything. So there's no threat to the national parks here. It's all about free speech rights. The government's going to control when and what you can say and how you can say it, which is the reason they have the permits and all the requested information you must provide. So what I'm saying is, a lot of you guys are sneaking down to the national forest or wilderness areas and shooting your Bigfoot shoots, or maybe shooting a camp out, are very likely to wake up because you put it in your film. We were at the national forest. Wake up and get a big whopping fine in the mail. And when you get that big whopping fine in the mail, because it's proof when you put it on YouTube, it's commercial, you're either going to pay that fine or you're going to have to spend a lot of money for a lawyer, and you're probably going to lose your case in court, curtailing your free speech rights. Because from there, it'll go to another government agency, another government area, and next thing you know, you won't be able to film government law enforcement. It's all about free speech, people. It's not about protecting the park system. Because a lot of times places I go, there's no law enforcement there anyway. There's nothing to protect. It's been operating for, 1,000 years, basically, and nobody was ever needed. Had no problems. They create the problems. The government's creating the problems and the issue and the high fees and the need for insurance when there's absolutely no need to do so. It's about free speech rights. A lot of people don't understand that. When they say, well, how do you know that, Master Hughes? Well, I read part of the legal documents. The issue of what is constituted as free speech and not constituted as free speech has arisen again. Okay? It's amazing how we can't just go film in national forest. We do no harm. We're just having some fun, may put it on YouTube, make a penny off it, and all of a sudden we're criminals. People, this is what's going on with your government. Absolute tyranny is going on with the government. There's no reason to keep people from filming their camp out in the national forest and putting it on YouTube because they're going to make a YouTube penny. Wake up, America. Your country has gone to hell, and it's going to get worse. This is Master Hughes letting you know what's going on. Bye-bye.